Yes, hello everyone. Good evening. Those guys in the YouTube. We are here with the Karnataka set question paper analysis. So we are going to tell you the answers of all those questions that came for the Karnataka set. So we see we had the revision sessions. Also in the YouTube, we had some Karnataka set revision sessions, paper one as well as paper two. So you all were part of that. So we thought of doing a public live with you guys, and also with us there is our students also for Karnataka set. So welcome everyone. Welcome our YouTube babies. Here is with me our paper one faculty, Grace. So, welcome Grace to the YouTube live. Uh, Grace, can you just unmute?
Yeah. Hi, all. It's my first time. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
Like every week, I used to meet this YouTube baby. So, with the paper one revision, so it's now you are also here with me to discuss the Karnataka set question paper. Okay, so guys, we'll be having a no the Karnataka set question paper with me, and just a PDF sent by our students. So we have this, and I'm going to share this. Okay, so one by one, we'll just discuss the answers. We all have maths, data interpretation, all those things. So it's not like it won't be possible to give a solutions for every like steps and solutions for every question, but we'll just discuss the ideas of each question. So this is the question paper that I have. With the paper one, we'll just start. The first question is regarding with the pie chart and bar diagram. So it was a expected question that when we did the revision and all, we just told that there will be a question from the data interpretation. So there are one pie chart and one bar diagram is given. So it's very easy that you can study the bar diagram and pie chart very easily because it is just percentages and the numbers given. When there is a question, as I told you for our data interpretation, you should identify the pie chart. Okay, so here it is a percentage-wise distribution of students in schools for 6,000 students given. So you need to calculate, if you need to calculate school A students, I told you that if you have a data interpretation, ask questions to yourself first. So what is the percentage of students in school A? 12 percentage. So how will you find the number of students? So total number is 6,000. So 12 by 100 into 6,000, you'll get number of school A. And then there are number of boys, 500 boys are there. So obviously you'll get the number of boys, girls from there. From the total number, you can subtract the number of boys. So now you need the ratio of the number of boys in school C and the number of girls in school B and the total number of students in school E. So you have to have the two quantity, that is school C and B together. School C and B together and then E together. So the ratio goes, and the answer is 45 is to 7 is to 87. When you calculate, you'll have the data as 45 is to 7 is to 87. So that is the answer for first question that you have. Okay. Now, going with the next question. Again, a data interpretation table. Usually in net, we see the one table will be there, or one data interpretation table will be there. And based on that, there will be 5 questions. But here you have different table to interpret. So maybe like it will take time, but these are simple data tables that you have. The number of items sold in town B in April is what percent more than. So you need a increase percentage. So the formula, amount of change by base amount into 100 is the formula that you're going to use. So the answer here that you'll get is 40 percentage to 40 percentage is the answer here. So we have the two quantities. See, 150 and 210 are the two quantities that, or two datas that you need for this question. So the change is 60 and the base amount will be the town A's value. That means more than town A's value. So this is the base A, sorry, the base amount. So you'll get the answer as 40 percentage. The answer is 40. And now coming to the third question, we have again a question regarding the reasoning part. 6 students are ranked in the increasing order as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 based on their scores in a test. Suppose score of each student is added by grace marks 2, then which of the following is true? Okay. So rank of each student is added by 2. Rank of each student remains same. obviously, see, when you have it, according to the scores in a test. So every one is added 2 marks. So obviously, no change will be there with the rank. So if you can go with the answer is the third one, you can have the answer is rank of each student remains the same is the answer for that question. Okay. And so with the fourth question that we have, it's a survey conducted on sample of 500 patients suffering from a particular type of pain. The objective is the study to know. So when you read the question, it is like a type of percentage. And now, when I check the options, see the options are like, however, out of all patients, 50% use medicine one. We need the percentage of male and female. Okay. So the male percentage is correct to 33 percentage. Okay. And the female is actually to 27 percentage. Okay. It is 27, not 24 we are getting, 27 we are getting. So here, 27 percentage, but there is the option with 27 percentage and 33 percentage, but they have given the question as it is respectively. So first step, definitely you should have male and then female. Okay. So if it is first 33 percentage, the option 4 would be correct, but the second part is not correct. 24% is not the answer. 27% is the right one. But you have option 2, 27% and 33% as the right answers, but it is just twisted. But we need answers in respective order because it is given in the question paper. So basically, I think they will drop this question maybe like if they are having the answer with 4 or maybe with 2, like they cannot have multiple options. And if it is like probably like maybe they will drop the question for something for some this 24% is wrong actually. It is 27% that you are getting for the female. So we can hope that maybe like they will give marks or maybe like they will drop the question of this fourth question. And now see the following graph represents the number of students appeared and number of students passed in an examination during a year. So here you need to find the average percentage of students, average percentage of students. So what you want to do is average, you need to find out the total number of students passed. It's just easy. You can add all these figures. Okay. And then you need to find out the number of students appeared, then take the average and then you want to find the percentage of students passed over students appeared. So students passed will be the first quantity. Then divide by the second quantity into 100, you will get the answer as 66%. So the answer will be the third one, that is near to, it is a value which is near to 66%. So that will be the answer for this question. So fifth one, the answer is 6. Okay. So the next one, sixth one, it is a question from ICT. Grace, yeah, over to you.
Okay, so should I share or sir, are you?
No, it's enough.
Okay, yeah, great, great. So we'll look into some question from ICT. So I know you all have done your exams well. So let's just look into this. This is a match the following question, right? So you have list 1 and list 2. In list 1, you have router, firewall, GUI, graphical, user interface, and browser. And it's easy to match because you know that router is a device that forward data packets between computer networks, right? So A, we can easily connect it with option 2. Firewall, again, as you're familiar with it, it's a device that prevents unauthorized access to our network. So we can easily connect option B with 4. And GUI, which I already said, you know the full form, it is graphical user interface, and the option is 1, right? See, you can connect it with option 1. And browser, it is very easy, an application for accessing websites. So the answer is option 1. So I
Yeah.
think this one was an easier one, right? So I
Yeah,
hope,
by I think they can get the option by relating with 2 or 3.
yeah,
Maybe like with B, they can finalize, right?
yes, true.
Yeah.
So we'll
Okay.
go to the next one. Okay. So this is a tricky one, but we'll look into it. Which of the following statements are true about CC and BCC fields in an email? You know, CC is carbon copy and BCC is blind carbon copy. So we'll just look into it. Option 1, as you can read, CC recipient cannot reply, it's not true, it's not true, it's not a right statement. And two, CC recipient can see other CC and BCC addressees. This is partially true, but not fully true, because there is some error in this phrase, because it is not BCC, it is CC and two addresses which we can see. Okay, there is some error in the statement. Okay, so let's pause. Third one, we look into it. BCC is used for casual emails, which we all know it's not true. So this is not also, it's not a right statement. But fourth one, we all know it's a true right statement. BCC recipients are hidden from all other recipients. It's right. But we don't have an option that says option 4 only. So we have to choose one more option. So for that, because of this situation, we have to choose 4 and 2 as the right answer for this question. So there is some error, it's true, but second option is partially true. So let's go with answer 4 and 2. Okay, options 4 and 2. So
Yeah,
that right.
maybe like they will give the options correct. Or maybe like they'll give the marks for the option 3, right? 2 and
Yeah,
4.
I hope so. Yeah, they will.
Yes, yes. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Next one.
Next one, consider the following statement. So this is a statement oriented question. You have two statements with you. Statement 1, hypertext is a text that contains link to other texts. It's true, right? It's true. We'll look into the next statement also. www is based on hypertext, which allows users to navigate between web pages by clicking on hyperlinks. That is also a right statement. So both as statement 1 and statement 2 are correct according to this question. So you can choose the option 3. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. So moving to the next question. Which of the following is the best use of ICT to improve student learning? So they ask the best use. You should find the best use among the 4 options. The first one, showing notes on projector, it is not the best use. Sending homework by emails, again not a right answer. Using learning apps that help these students learn at their own level, right, it's a right answer. Reading from an ebook instead of a textbook, not really. It is also not an appropriate answer. So the right answer is option 3. Yes, moving to the next one. Which feature of Google Form make it suitable for surveys? So I'm not going much into the options, because we all know we have used this in some point of our life, and we know the right answer is option 2, support for questions like multiple choice and checkboxes. Correct. So now we've been looking into ICT. Now we are moving to people development and environment. So the first question is, as per the biomedical waste management rules 2060, glassware and metallic body implants are to be collected in. This is a little bit confusing. Many people have been confused with option 1 and 3, but the most appropriate answer for this question is option 1, that is cardboard boxes with blue color marking. Okay? Yeah. Okay, others are not an appropriate answer. Okay, moving to the next one. Consider the following statement. So there are 4 statements in your hands. You should keenly observe the statements. The first one is the Disaster Management Act was passed by the Parliament in 2005. That's true. It is the right. It's a right phrase, right statement. Option B: the Union Home Minister acts as a chairperson of the National Disaster Management Authority. It's not true. It is Prime Minister. It is not the Union Home Minister. So there is it is incorrect. So C, the NDMA may have not more than 9 members, including chairman. That's true. The tenure of the members of NDMA shall be 5 years. Again, that's also true. So A, C, D are the right options. So we can go with option 2. Okay? Yeah, that's the right one. The next one, again, according to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, SDG 10 is related to, it is not related to zero hunger, neither climate actions, nor decent work and economic growth. The right one is reduce inequalities. Okay, reduce inequalities. Okay. 14, question number 14. Consider the following statement related to Earth Hour. This is very important. You have to be very keenly observe this question. It is a climate change and environmental conservation related awareness program and movement. That's true. It was launched by United Nations Environment Program. That's not true. It was launched by WFF, World Life Nature, something else, Fund, WFF, World Life fund. So this is not the right answer. It was launched in 2007 in Australia. That's true. Voluntary switch off of non-essential lights for 1 hour is a part of the movement. True. So we can go ahead with A, B, C. So the right option is option 2. Only 3 of them are correct. Yeah. So I hope you got the answer. Yeah. We'll move to the next one. Okay, next one. Consider the following statements related to International Solar Alliance, ISA. Okay, so ISA is a global intergovernmental organization dedicated to advancing solar power adoption for a carbon neutral future. That is right answer. That's a true statement. But if you go through the other three, they are not true because it is not at all a collaborative initiative between India and Germany. It is between India and France, and the headquarters is in Haryana in India. It is not in Germany, and not all SAARC countries are members of the ISA. So the B, C, D are wrong option. The right one is option A. Yeah, so option 4 is right among the 4 options, right? Yeah, now we are moving to higher education. So the first question, which one of the following is not the feature of the Buddhist education? So you're asked to find which is not the feature of Buddhist education. You can easily come to this answer. It is option 2, physical punishment. It is not a feature of Buddhist education. Okay. Now we have an interesting match. The following, they were testing your memory. They were asking to remember the years. So we'll quickly go through it. National education policy first came in the year 1968. So if you know that answer, you can easily come to the option because there is only one option that says D is 4. So the right answer is option 4. But I'll quickly go through the other options as well. Indian Education Commission is in 1964. Secondary Education Commission 1952. And University Education Commission in the year 1948. Okay? Yeah. So the right option is option 4. Okay, the next one. Match the following government established research organization with their functions. Okay, list 1 and list 2 is there. I can quickly go through the options. Agile Innovation Mission, you can easily join it, match it with option 2, encourage innovation and entrepreneurial spirit. That is the exact match. Then National Research Foundation, which is B is option 3. You have to match it with 3. Imprint and Space Program, you have to match it with 4. And the D, final one, you have to match it with option 1. So the right answer is 1, option 1. Yeah. Now an interesting question is coming. The board which is responsible for assessing and accrediting technical programs to ensure quality standards. You might confuse it with AICT and NBA. So it is not AICT, it's All India Council Technical Education, and the duties are different. So the right answer is NBA, National Board of Accreditation, because if you know the full form, then you can easily come to the answer. So the body that there to assess and accredit technical programs is NBA. Okay. Yeah. So now we are moving to Jobin sir. He'll be helping you with teaching.
Yeah, I think this is the higher education, which the key aspects of value education are
Sorry. Yeah.
character building, no worries,
Yeah.
psychomotor development, ethical decision making, cognitive
Yeah,
development,
sorry. I got confused
patriotism,
with sorry.
global citizenship.
Yeah. So I'll quickly go through it. The key aspect of value education, which when you hear the word value, then you can easily associate it with certain terms, right? Which are the terms? Character, then ethical, then patriotism and global citizenship. It all comes under value education. These are the key aspects. So the right answer is for option 4, EBA. Yeah. Sorry, ACE. AC is the right answer. It's option 1. Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Yes, now we have question number 21 here with different types of learners. Coming to visual learners, we have kinesthetic learners, peer tutoring, inclusive education. So say guys, like if you can relate with peer learning, peer tutoring, it is students learn from each other. So you can easily relate it C to 4. So there is only option that is with C with 4, and that is option 4. That is correct. So A2, visual learners benefit from diagrams and charts. It preference to hands-on activities because hands-on activities kinesthetic learners. And then inclusive education, address diversity in the classroom. That is the answer. So option 4 will go with 21. And question number 22, benefit of using project-based assessment, memorization of facts. No. So obviously when you read the answers itself, you get an idea, enhances critical thinking and problem solving skills. That is option 2. Reduces time spent. It is not correct. Easiness to apply multiple choices is not also correct. So 22 will be the right answer. Flipped classroom typically involves. So here we have teacher records instructional videos and shares them with students for practicing problems, completing assignments in the class and watching videos at home. So you'll have a traditional lecture-based teaching. It is not a traditional lecture-based teaching. It is not an online assessment without any classroom activities. There are classroom activities. And see, there are classroom activities. The students watch the videos at home and then complete the assignments in the class. That is what the correct answer is. So 23-2, you will have a doubt with the option 1 because it is not with the instructional videos or it's not for practicing problems. They learn the concept and then they practice assignments in the classroom. Okay, that is correct. So completing assignments in the class and watching videos at home will be the most apt option. So now they rightly sequence the steps involved in a computer-based testing. So in a computer, so like these, maybe like when we are going to write a net exam and all, it is all a computer-based test. So the answer here will be, the first option will be to no, the design the uh, uh, sorry, define the test objectives. Okay, and then go into the test format, and then go into the creating questions, and then go into the platform or technology. So the last one will be the choosing the platform or technology. So 24, the correct answer will be 2. So where you can have an idea is you should have choosing a platform or technology is the last one. So basically, definitely you can choose that last one. So that will be the right sequence. The first one will be the defining the objectives, then creating questions, and then the test format, and then going with the choosing the platforms. Now 25, there are some emotions and then signs. So anger, happiness, fear, jealousy. So what all you will have with anger, happiness, and also it is easy that maybe like you have anger or maybe like happiness. You go with happiness. So with happiness you can have playfulness, creativity, curiosity, engagement, smiles. Okay. So B3. So it's easy that only one option with the B3 is option 3. So then A2 and C4 you can. That is fear. It is trembling, crying, and all. Jealousy, it is scratching, refusal to eat or kicking like that. Okay, that's what. And coming to the research aptitude questions, what is the key characteristics of positivist approach? Obviously, reliance on the qualitative research methods. No. Emphasis on subjective interpretations. No. Believe in existence of objectives, measurable facts and laws governing phenomena. That is the right answer. Option 3 is the right answer for 26. And match the following and choose the correct answer. It's a sampling. So when I have discussed in the classroom, so I have told you that sampling is a very important short part. They will ask in the case of NET and all eligibility test exams, sampling is a very important part. So stratified sampling goes with a sample or units are selected from each strata. Okay, stratified and strata you can relate. So C2 is the option that you can go with. So C2 you have only one option, that is 3. So 27, the option will be 3. That is this is option. Okay, 27, the option will be 3 because C2 and cluster sampling you can relate with the sample selected from each group of the population. And random sampling, each unit of population is given an equal chance. That's correct. Okay. Which of the following represents the right sequence of drawing a sample? So after, like before sampling, drawing a sample is important. So the technique is called sampling. So see guys, the first and important step is defining the population. So this will be the first one. So there are two options with the 3 first, and then we'll go with listing the population, right? So obviously that is there only with the first option. So that is the first option will be correct. Okay. Defining the population, then listing the population. Then we'll go with the obtaining the adequate sample, and then last one selecting a representative sample. So this is the order that we have. So 3, 2, 1, 4. And which of the formatting styles is commonly used in the field of social science and education? That is the It is not MLA, Chicago, or Turabian. It's American Psychological Association, APA style. Okay. And it's not IEEE style also. It is American Psychological Association style. Which type of research method is employed if a company marketer has to design his advertising and sales promotion campaign for high-end watches? So it's actually a descriptive method that you have to, not interview one or experimental or observation. It's a descriptive method. And now you have the comprehension passage. Yes, Grace,
Yeah.
she'll
So how
help
should we do? Should we
me.
read it or should we
No,
go
it's just
with
like
the
we can
option?
go with the
Yeah.
options and answer. It's
Yes, yes.
questions.
So you all have read it before, so we just quickly go through the question. So question 31, how do books help in the progress of civilization? Is an easy question. We can easily come up to the answer. It is option 1. Based on the earlier books, new knowledge is obtained. So 2, 3, 4 is not the appropriate ones. The second question 32, what does the high quality of books produced by a country indicate? So it indicates it has a progressive civilization. It has a progressive civilization. Okay. The next one, why are books, according to the passage, called never failing friends? It's an interesting one, right? So the right answer is option 1, books do not betray individuals. Great. Which of the following has been described as a sign of good luck? And the right answer is option 4, a passion for books. Okay, so I hope you got the right answers. We are moving to the next one. Which of the following is the author's view about the knowledge and pleasure derived from book? So we can go with the option C. We get knowledge and pleasure in equal measure. That is the right option. So we have an option like that. It is option 4, only C. So that is the right one. Okay. So we are moving to the communication module. So let's go through some questions. Which of the following terms describes the communication between two people that involve sending and receiving of messages? All these terms you're familiar because we have learned this in communication. You're familiar with it, but you have to you have to keenly observe the question. The question asks the term describe the communication between two people. Then the right answer is 4, option 4. It is dyadic. Dyadic. Okay. Now, next one. Which of the following are the common classification of communication? Common classification. Okay. So among the A, B, C, D, E options, you can go with option C, D, E. The first C option means what? It is a physical gestures you use in communication. Vocalics means informal, like the small things that is not. It is not through word, yeah, like not non-verbal. That is vocalics. Then haptics is there. It is touch. So these are the 3 ones that we can use as a common classification of communication. So that falls in the category option 3, C, D, E. Okay. Next one. Which of the following belongs to the field of proxemics in communication? Proxemics means which you know. It is how you perceive or your perception of space in communication. So you can easily point out certain word that is associated with space, the concept of space. Which are they? Crowding is there, territoriality is there, personal space is there. So B, C, D are the right option. It comes with the option as option 2, B, C, D. Okay. Yeah. Let's move into the next one. What are the relevant strategies of effective communication in a classroom? So this is the question. So we'll go through the options. You know that clarity in speech is very important. This is something you can easily come with. But it also means because it's in a classroom setup, understanding the cultural background of students is also relevant. So A and B, without doubts, are the right options. Now we have 3 others. D and D you can easily eliminate because it doesn't make sense. Now we come to the option C, that is focus listening on both sides, teacher and student. So the right options are A, B, and C. Okay, so that is option 1. Yeah. Now it's a match the following question. So this is might be a little bit confusing, but don't worry, we'll look into it. You have list 1, in which it is titled as types of listeners involved in communication, and list 2, that is characteristics, in which you can easily associate certain words. For example, D, you can go with option 3, An active listener look into the relevance of the information for understanding its implication. So you can go with D3, and D3 you have an option right in your choice, that is 2 and 4. Now C you can easily associate with option 1. It is engaged in information other than the one needed. So in this combination you have only one option that is there, it is option 2. So that is the right answer. It means non-listener you should match with A with 2, then B with 4, C with 1, and D with 3. So this is the right answer for this question. Okay.
Yes. So here comes the next question, 41st one. It's a series question, letter series one. So with Z, W and all, it is going back. And B, D, it is in the alphabetical order that you have B, then C, D. Then 1 is missed, then 2 is missed, so +2 +1 like it is going. So the answer will be NPQR. So when you do the series, it is like NPQR. Okay. The first one, option 1 will be the right NPQR. It's not so much confusing because you will get the first word as N. Then the second word B, then +1 you have, then D, E, F you have missed, then G you have, then G after HI is missed, J is missed, then K. So that like that you should miss L, M, N. So that's what LM, and then you can write P there, LM and no, and write P there. So that will be the second letter. So NP will be the option. So NP, there is only one option like NP, starting with NP. Okay. In a certain language, if coffee is written as 315655. So here, guys, it's very simple that C, it is just the the alphabetic number, the number. It's just the positional number of each letter. C is for 3, O is 15, F is 6, again F is 6, E is 5, 5 again. So T, obviously you can have the positional numbers 20, E is 5, and then A is 1. So the option goes with 3. 2051 is the right answer. Okay. And here's the question with the speed, distance, and time. Car covers a certain distance at a speed. Okay. Distance is, sorry, speed is given. Time is given. You can calculate distance from that. From the first statement, you can calculate the distance. And then with that distance, you have the time. If you divide distance by time, you will get the new speed. Okay. The answer is 75 kilometer per hour. Option 4 is the right answer. And now, coming to the 44th question, if an amount double itself at compound interest in 4 years, then which of the following are correct? So maybe like you can, it's like a maybe like a common sense that you can use, or maybe like you can use the formula. So it's like A, B, C, D. All statements are correct here. It takes 8 years to make the amount 4 times. It takes 12 years. All things are correct. A, B, C, D is the correct option for answer for the question 44. And now a library has an average of 400 visitors on Sundays and 100 visitors on other days. The average number of visitors per day in a month of 30 days beginning with a Saturday. So if it begins with a Saturday, you should calculate the number of Sundays. There will be 5 Sundays. And then average number of people on 5 Sundays. Then on other days also you should calculate. Then the total number divided by 30, you will get the answer as 150. So the option 2 will go with 45, question number 45. In a certain code, threat is written as RHT then how will Pearly be written? It's just like the middle letter here. It's just taken the half of the letter, and H is kept as such, and then the letters are reversed. Okay, T and R, and A is kept as such, and T and E is reversed like that. So if you check like that with the Pearly, you will get the option 3 as the right answer. AEP YLR as the right answer. That is the right answer for 46. 47 is like just like a Venn diagram figure that you have. The triangle represents doctors, the circle represents the players, and the rectangle represents artists. So you need to understand which number represents artists who neither players nor doctors. So obviously the answer is 1. The option is 1 only. 47, the option 1. Refer to the information in the follow. So it's like a the ranking pattern that you have, ranking pattern. So you should have an idea of all those, like read all those statements A, B, C, D, and then you have a ranking pattern. Obviously the answer will be D scores the highest. So 1 of 48, 1 will be the right option. By solving it, you will get the right option. For D scores the highest will be the right option. And then coming to the 49, a policeman goes 20 kilometers east and then turning to the south, he goes 30 kilometers. So the actual figure will be like this. So it is like this will be 30. This will be 20, this will be 30, this will be 10. So you can take the entire this distance as 10. This you can join here and maybe like you can form a triangle like this. Okay. So from this point, so you will get this is a hypotenuse actually. This also you have the distance or this distance also you have 30. This is the total distance 30 you have. So you can solve it by the Pythagoras theorem. The answer will be 30 root 2 kilometers. Okay. That is 49 option 1 will be the right answer. 49 option 1 will be the right answer. 50 the problem figures are given. See here the first figure the triangle is there and then outside a square, then the triangle comes out, then circle comes inside. Now the circle comes inside outside, then the pentagon comes outside. Like that it goes. So obviously this figure should come outside. So option B will go with the right answer. 2, that is the right answer for the answer. This is the correct figure that you have. Okay, that's the end of paper 1 that you have guys here. So thank you, Grace, for being with me here. So and discussing the answers of higher education, people development, environment, all those things. Thank you uh, for being here.
Thank you,
And
sir,
I
for
think,
giving me this opportunity. Thank you so
yeah,
much.
I think the paper 2 people are here. Ankita is here. Hello, Ankita. I have made you the host. It's just like I think you're muted, I think.
Hi. Okay. All right. So, hello everyone, and welcome to the second part of this session. And now we will be analysis of paper 2 of Karnataka set exam. And here with me is Fatima from our team. Hi, Fatima. Are you there? I will make you the co-host. Yes. Hi. Okay. So, guys, are we ready for the discussion of paper 2 of Karnataka set? Hi, hello everyone. I hope all of you had a lovely exam, right? I really wish that all of you will pass with flying colors. Yes, great. So we are done with the discussion of paper 1 of K-set, and now we'll talk about the paper 2. I will be talking about the first 50 questions, 1 to 50, and then Fatima will continue with the next questions. It is from 51 to 100. All right, let's get started. I will start by sharing the screen. Just a second. Yeah. Just let me know if you guys can see my screen. Okay, yeah, it's visible. All right. At any point, if you guys can't hear me or see me or if anything was wrong, just let me know in the chat. All right? Okay. Let's solve this together, shall we? It will be fun. Okay. So, what is literature? The simplest answer is that literature is imaginative writing. The notion is not without its problems. There are a number of imaginative works which are not usually classified as literature. There are also works which are not especially imaginative, but which are held to belong to literature because they are written in a particular style. According to this passage, definition of literature as imaginative writing is problematic because dash. Right answer will be option 3. Style defines literature, not imagination. Style defines literature, not imagination. All right, option 3 will be the right answer. Next. Dash defines postmodernism as incredulity towards meta narratives of legitimation. Who said this? It was Jean-Francois Lyotard. Option 2 is the right answer, Lyotard. Okay. Next, we have match the following. We have Barth, and it will be with semiology. Althusser, ISA, ideological state apparatus. Jameson, postmodernism, Paulette, phenomenology. So A2, B, yes, B3, C4, D1. Option 4 will be the right answer. Roland Barthes, semiology, Althusser, ISA, Jameson, postmodernism, and Paulette, phenomenology. Okay, right. Gugi wa Thiong'o in his dash focused on the English as a weapon by the colonizer. The correct answer will be decolonizing the mind. Option 1 will be the right answer. Gugi wa Thiong'o in his work Decolonizing the Mind focused on the use of English as a weapon by the colonizer. Right, next. The essay Visual Pleasure and Narrative Cinema is penned by Dash. I remember asking you guys the same question during the marathon, remember? Yes. So it was lovely, right, to see this question in the exam. The essay Visual Pleasure and Narrative Cinema is penned by Laura Mulvey. Next, the theorist who talks about actual reader and implied reader is Dash. It is Wolfgang Iser. Am I audible to you all? Please let me know in the chat. Am I audible? Okay. So the theorist who talks about actual reader and implied reader is Wolfgang Iser. Wolfgang Iser, right? The term drag and cross-dressing is associated with queer studies. Queer studies. All right. Next question. Which of the following is the correct sequence of theorists according to their birth? So we have Foucault, Roland Barthes, Vladimir Propp, and all that. And the correct answer will be, first we have Vladimir Propp, then Levi-Strauss, then Roland Barthes, and lastly Michel Foucault. Option 3 will be the right answer. Option 3 will be the right answer. Okay. Next, Kathy Karuth is a well-known theorist of trauma studies. Trauma studies. Kathy Karuth, trauma studies. Choose the correct answer. New critics advocated close reading, yes. They focus on the authorial intention, no. They favor epic poetry, and new critics are against background criticism, yes. So right answer will be 1 and 4. Option 1 will be the right answer, that only 1 and 4 are correct. Only 1 or 4 are correct because they advocated close reading and they were against background criticism. These are the correct statements about new criticism or the new critiques. Which of the following is a plagiarism checker? It is Turnitin. Turnitin is a plagiarism checker. Which philosopher of science says that it is better to falsify a proposition rather than verify it? It was Karl Popper. It was Karl Popper is the right answer. Okay, next. What is DOI with regard to research publications? It is Digital Object Identifier. Digital Object Identifier. This is the right answer. DOI means Digital Object Identifier. How should entries be rearranged in works cited? Chronologically, books followed by journal articles, alphabetically, or primary sources followed by secondary sources? The right answer would be alphabetically. Alphabetically is the right answer. Alphabetically. Okay. What is retraction in research ethics? It is removing an article from scientific literature due to plagiarism. It is removing an article from scientific literature due to plagiarism. That's what we call retraction in research ethics. In dash research, variables are manipulated by the researcher in a controlled manner to produce the desired effect. It is an experimental research. The right answer will be experimental research. What is InflibNet? What is InflibNet? It is Information and Library Network Center. It is Information and Library Network Center. All right. What are the differences between pure and applied research? The answer will be only 1 and 4. That pure research is theoretical, but applied research is practical. And pure research supplies theory, and applied research translates it into action. So option 1 and 4 only. This will be the right answer. 1 and 4 only. This is the right answer. Okay. And now we have, this is a match the following. We have Project Muse. It's a database. SIE dot is, it means as in the original. So A3, B4, C2 means Urkun, this plagiarism checker, and D1. The R project is a statistical package. Option 2 will be the right answer. Project Muse database, SIE, this one as in the original, Urkun, the plagiarism checker, and the R project is statistical package. This is the right answer. Why is a pilot study undertaken? To examine the feasibility of the project to be undertaken and to test the adequacy of the research instruments. 1 and 3. 1 and 3. Option 4 will be the right answer. That is, a pilot study is undertaken to examine the feasibility of the project to be undertaken and to test the adequacy of the research instruments. 1 and 3. Clear? Which of the following is the correctly arranged periods of the English drama? We all know this. First, we will have Elizabethan, then Jacobean, then Restoration, and lastly, Victorian. Elizabethan, Jacobean, Restoration, Victorian. This is the right answer. This is the correct chronology of these periods. Clear? Yes? All right. What type of stage was commonly used in Elizabethan theatres, which extended the audience? It is thrust stage. It is thrust stage. Right? Okay. Are you all listening to me? Yes. Okay. Which of the following Ibsen's plays deals with the conflict between truth-telling and its consequences? It will be ghosts. It will be ghosts. In Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman, how does Willy Loman's perception of the American dream criticize capitalist ideology? The correct answer will be, it exposes the illusion of material success. It exposes the illusion of material success. This is the right answer. Okay, right. Which dramatic structure typically follows a 5-act format, including exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and denouement? It is Freytag's pyramid. Freytag's pyramid. This is the right answer. Freytag's pyramid. Clear? Are you all following? Yes? All right. Next. Again, we have a match the following. We have some plays and playwrights. David Mamet wrote Glengarry Glen Ross. Middleton and Rowley wrote The Changeling. Tom Stoppard wrote Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. And Webster wrote The Duchess of Malfi. So A3. This one is the right answer, option 3. Because David Mamet wrote Glengarry Glen Ross, Middleton and Rowley wrote The Changeling, Tom Stoppard wrote Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, And Webster, very popular, we know this. He wrote this revenge tragedy, The Duchess of Malfi. All right. Which playwright's work led to the riots at the Abbey Theatre in 1907? It is obviously J.M. Synge. J.M. Synge. And you can let me know in the comments that these riots broke out because of which play of James Synge. Okay, to let me know that these riots broke out in Ireland because of which play of James Synge. All right, yes. How do Beckett's characters typically handle their existential struggles? How do they typically handle their existential struggles? By continuing to exist despite their lack of direction or understanding. This is the right answer. By continuing to exist despite their lack of direction or understanding. What is the central theme of Manjula Padmanabhan's play Lights Out? Lights Out. It is urban apathy towards sexual violence. Urban apathy towards sexual violence. Right? One day, when I am no longer spending my days running a sweet stall, I may write a book about us all. It will be recollected in fire and blood, my blood. So these are lines from John Osborne's Look Back in Anger, and these lines were uttered by the protagonist, Jimmy Porter. Here, my blood signifies what? His sacrifice and violence. His sacrifice and violence. All right? His sacrifice and violence. Now we have an Imagist poem by Ezra Pound. He had written this Imagist poem in a station of the metro. The apparition of this face is in the crowd, petals in a wet black bough. You all know this poem really well. So this above poem is a fine example for imagism. Imagism. Clear? The tone of the poem is contemplative. The tone of this poem is contemplative. The major technique used in the poem to convey the meaning is metaphor. Metaphor is the right answer. All right. The word apparition suggests ghostly appearances. Here we will go for ghostly appearances. All right. Choose the correct answer from the codes given below. From the codes given below. The Romantic poets stressed on dash, society and reason, individualism and passion, individualism and pantheism. We will go with C and D only. Individualism and passion and individualism and pantheism. The Romantic poets stressed on individualism and passion and individualism and pantheism. C and D only. C and D only. Option 4. Option 4 here. The poem A Passage to India is by Walt Whitman. The poem A Passage to India is by Walt Whitman. Now we have some poems here that we have to match. Kamla Das wrote My Grandmother's House. Nissim Ezekiel wrote Night of the Scorpion. Sarojini Naidu wrote Indian Weavers. Toru Dutt wrote The Sower. So A4, this one. Okay, A4, B3, C1, D2. Kamla Das wrote My Grandmother's House. Toru Dutt wrote The Sower. Sarojini Naidu wrote Indian Weavers. And Nissim Ezekiel had written Night of the Scorpion. Okay. Now, Chaucer, English age, Shakespeare, Elizabethan age, Ted Hughes, modern age, Lord Tennyson, Victorian age. So A3, this one. Chaucer, Middle English, Shakespeare, Elizabethan, Ted Hughes, modern, Tennyson, Victorian. Right? Okay. A poem that is serious in subject and elevated in style is called ode. We will go with ode. A poem that is serious in subject and elevated in style is called ode. Author of the poem, The Golden Light, is Sri Aurobindo. The author of the poem, The Golden Light, is Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo is the right answer. Okay. The Golden Light is a poem by Sri Aurobindo. Okay. Next we have 1984 dystopian novel War and Peace. Historical fiction, 100 Years of Solitude, magical realism, Middlemarch realist fiction. So 1B, 1B, 2A, this one. Option 1 will be the right answer because Middlemarch realist fiction, 100 Years of Solitude, magical realism, War and Peace, historical fiction, and 1984 by George Orwell, dystopian novel. Dystopian novel. Okay? Right. Okay. All right. Next. Identify the correct sequence of chronology of the following European classics. First, we have Don Quixote, The Three Musketeers, Madame Bovary, and Anna Karenina. Yes, option 3 will be the right answer. Don Quixote first, then The Three Musketeers, then Madame Bovary, and lastly Anna Karenina. This is the right chronology. D.H. Lawrence's novels D.H. Lawrence's novels reflect what? Social alienation, modernity and industrialization, human psychology, existentialism and human values, feminism, modernism and cultural values, sexuality, vitality and instinct. This is the must. Option 4 will be must and option 2 as well. What are you asking, Amina? The following correct option. Match the following. You are asking this one. This one, Amina, Middlemarch. Are you asking this one? Middlemarch, 100 Years of Solitude. This one, Amina? Here, this one will be the correct answer, option 1. Because Middlemarch, realist fiction. 1B. 2A. 100 Years of Solitude is magical realism. War and Peace, historical fiction. And 1984 by Orwell, dystopian novel. 1B, 2A, 3D, 4C. This one, option 1. All right, yeah. Okay. So D.H. Lawrence's novels reflect 2 and 4. Option 2 will be the right answer. Sorry. That was slip of tongue in Bengali. Sorry for that. So the right answer will be 2 and 4. Option 4 will be the right answer. Human psychology, existentialism and human values, and sexuality, vitality and instinct. All right. Option 4 will be the right answer. Because we will go with 2 and 4. 2 means this one. Human psychology, existentialism, and human values, and sexuality, vitality, and instinct. So D.H. Lawrence's novels reflect this 2 and 4. 2 and 4, option 4. Okay? Got it? Which is Mom's first novel, Lisa of Lambeth. Lisa of Lambeth was the first novel of William Somerset Maugham. A novel which has its central theme as the protagonist's growth as an artist is called Kunsle Roman, a novel which has its central theme as the protagonist's growth to maturity as an artist. It is called Kunsle Roman. Kunsle Roman. Remember, we talked about works like James Joyce's A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. Then D.H. Lawrence's Sons and Lovers. All these are examples of Kunsle Roman. There is novels which document the growth of the protagonist into maturity as an artist. As an artist. And these novels are called Kunsle Roman. Kunsle Roman. Okay. The Castle of Otranto, The Beetle, A Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and Rebecca. All these are examples of Gothic novels. The Castle of Otranto, very famous work by Horace Walpole. Okay. Rebecca is Gothic novel by Daphne du Maurier. All these are Gothic novels. Okay. All these are Gothic novels. Gothic. Which character in Charles Dickens's novel is known for the phrase, "Please, sir, I want some more"? It is obviously Oliver Twist. Oliver is famous for saying these words. That, "Please, sir, I want some more." Oliver Twist. Which of the following novels has the blending of Gothic horror, romanticism, and science fiction, creating a distinctive atmosphere? Obviously, it is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley blends Gothic horror, romanticism, and science fiction elements. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Next, we have some types of fiction and their description on the other side. Let's match. First, we have psychological fiction. Psychological fiction explores themes like identity, consciousness, and complexities. 1C, okay? Postmodern fiction, experiment style, structure, and narrative techniques. 2A. Speculative fiction explores alternate realities and futuristic societies. And metafiction self-consciously addresses the devices of fiction. So 1C, 2A, 3D, 4B. So here option 1 will be the correct answer. Option 1. Because 1C, 2A, 3D, 4B. Got it? What is the original title of Swift's Gulliver's Travels? It is Travels into Several Remote Nations of the World. Travels into several remote nations of the world. Clear? And from here onwards, from 51 actually, Fatima will continue. Is it clear till now? Tell me. Let me know in the chat. Is it clear till now? All the questions? I hope you have got this. Any confusion with any question? Clear? All right. Very good. Right. Yes. Fatima, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Okay. All right.
Let me share the screen.
Yes, sure. I will just mute myself and I'm here.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Okay, I hope my screen is visible to you. Okay, now coming to our section from 52nd question, 51st question. Wait a minute. Okay, so this is our 51st question. Intellectual freedom depends upon material things. poetry depends upon intellectual freedom. And women have always been poor, not for 200 years merely, but from the beginning of times. Women have had less intellectual freedom than men because they have had less money and less leisure. According to the above passage, the intellectual freedom primarily depends on, it is obvious, it is material resources. Okay, now what real issue was Jonathan Swift addressing in a modest proposal? It is the second option, British oppression and economic exploitation of Ireland. Okay, Lakshmi, is there any problem? Well, yeah, Lakshmi, you can text me. Can you give me the message? Can you chat? No, message me in the chat box. Or can I continue? Lakshmi, I don't understand. What are you trying to say? Okay, and that Angada ma'am is dealing, so I'll move on to the next question. Now, there is no fiction or no non-fiction as we commonly understand the distinction. There is only narrative. This statement was given by, it is E.L. Doctorow who gave this very statement. Why was Richard Steele expelled from the House of Commons in 1714? Now, this is due to his seditious pamphlet, which is Crisis. Okay, along with Importance of Dunkirk Considered, and Crisis was also another seditious pamphlet. For this, he was expelled from the House of Commons in 1740. Now, this was very easy. John Locke, as you know, wrote second treatise of government. So A2, you have A to two options. Thomas Hobbes, you should know B1. So A2, B1. So it is the first option. C3 is Road to Vegan Pair, and Thomas Carlyle wrote Sartor Resartus. Okay. I had already made up my mind that the elephant was guilty, but I did not know what to do. The elephant was in a state of collapse. It was no longer a threat to the crowd. The only thing left to do was to shoot it, but I did not want to shoot it. I want to stand up to the crowd, but I could not. Have been brought up to be a moral person, but in that moment, I could only think of myself and the crowd that expected me to act. The tone of the paragraph can be best described as, it is option 2, guilty and conflicted. Okay. Which of the following works of Aldous Huxley influenced the psychedelic movement? Now, the answer is the first option, The Doors of Perception. Okay. Now, Mary Wollstonecraft's A Vindication of Rights of Men forms a protest against Edmund Burke. Okay, Edmund Burke is the answer. He was against women. He was against the patriarchal society. He was, a person who supported the patriarchal society. Okay. Now, coming to match the following literary magazines in list 1 with their founders. Okay. So, the Tatler, as you know, is by Richard Steele. Okay. Tatler is by Richard Steele. So, A3, CA3. Now, Rambler is by Samuel Johnson. So D should be 2. So which makes 59. The answer would be 4. Okay. The answer is 4. So Tatler is by Richard Steele. Now, Monthly Review is by Ralph Griffith. The True Patriot is by Henry Fielding. And Rambler is by Samuel Johnson. Okay. Now, what is the minimum requirement for a piece of prose? rhyming couplets, use of poetic devices, formal meter, continuous coherence beyond listing. It is the fourth option, which is the right answer. Okay. Who among the following has elaborated on the Indianization of English? It is Brajbi Kachru or BB Kachru. It is the option number 4. Okay, he has written a work, Indianization of English. Which event is most associated with the official introduction of English education in colonial India? It is Macaulay's Minute on Education. This is very easy. I hope you got all this question right. Now, on December 11th, 1823, Raja Ram Mohan Roy addressed a letter to the British authority which pledged for modern Western education and is considered historically important for the introduction of English education in India. For whom was the letter addressed to? Now, that was addressed to Lord Amherst. So, the option number 1 would be the answer for 63rd question. Now, coming to 64th question, this was a bit difficult, right? So, 64, the answer would be match the following. First, let me read the question. Match the following. You have a list of professors, important figures in Indian literature. Professor V.K. Gokak, Professor C.D. Narasimhaya, Professor C.J. Daswani, Professor K.R.S. Iyengar. Okay, list 2 has Center for the Advanced Study of India, Central Institute of English and Foreign Languages, Andhra University and Dvanya Loga. Okay, now 64, the correct option is option 1. Okay, so Professor V.K. Gokak was associated with Central Institute of English and Foreign Studies. Professor C.D. Narasimhaya was associated with, wait a minute, yeah. He was associated with Dvanya Loga, and C1, Professor C.J. Daswani, was associated with Center for the Advanced Study of India, and Professor K.R.S. Iyengar was associated with the Andhra University. Okay, now coming to 65th question, match the following. So 1854, as you know, is Wood's Dispatch. So B should be 3. So let's check for options where B is 3. You have just one option. So 1854, Wood's Dispatch. And you have, A, 1835 is related to Renaissance in India. 1882 was the year in which University of Punjab was established, and 1887 was the year University of Allahabad was established. Okay, so 65, the answer is 2. Okay, now coming to match the following again. Now, if you know Raja Ram Mohan Roy is associated with Brahmo Samaj or Brahma Sabha, then this could have been cracked easily. Okay, so 66, B is 1. So you have just one option, which is option 3. B is 1. Okay, and then A, Charles Wood, is associated with President of the Board of Control of English Company. Okay, and Lord Auckland. Okay, Lord Auckland was the India's Governor General, and C4, that is Thomas Babington Macaulay, father of English education in India, and Raja Ram Mohan Roy was associated with Brahma Sabha. Okay, so the option number 3 is the correct answer. Now, in Hamlet and His Problems, what does Eliot identify as the artistic flow in Hamlet? So the correct answer is the first one. The emotional content outweighs the dramatic action. Okay. Now, coming to the 68th question, whose name is associated with downward filtration theory? This is again Lord Macaulay. You have many questions from Macaulay and Macaulay's Minutes. Okay, so the answer for 68th question is option 1. Now, which 19th century novelist expressed a wish to exterminate the race of Indians following the 1857 mutiny in India. Now, this is someone you wouldn't expect. It is Charles Dickens. Okay, it is Charles Dickens. Now, so the option is option number 2. That is the correct answer. Now, which is not the recommendation of William Hunter Commission? The first option is commission oversaw the curriculum and teaching method. This is right. The medium of instruction at the primary level should be the mother tongue. Again, that is right. A strong emphasis on Indianizing education. Again, that is right. Christian religious text should be incorporated. Now, that is the wrong answer. So, that is not a recommendation by William Hunter Commission. So, that becomes the answer of question number 70. Now, which alphabet was used to write Old English after the arrival of Christianity? It is Roman alphabet. Okay, it is Roman alphabet. So, 71, option number 2. Now, coming to 72nd question. How many non-English words appear in the passage below? At the cafe, Anna enjoyed a fresh croissant while reading the latest expos. Later, she joined her friends at the kindergarten for Gemalish gathering filled with laughter and schnitzel. Now, here you have 6 words which are non-English. Okay, cafe, croissant, expos. Now, kindergarten, Gemalch, and schnitzel. Okay. Now, coming to 73rd question. Okay, now 73rd question, it is again a match the following. Match each writing stage with its corresponding focus or activity. Now, the answer would be option number 4. Okay, so communicating is writing as self-discovery, creating class magazine and letters to real audiences. And B1, so composing, structuring text like typographic reviews and comparative essays. And C is improving, is linked to refining drafts through conferencing, peer editing, and accuracy checking. Okay, now D3, brainstorming, crafting is associated with brainstorming ideas, using diagrams, and cubing strategies. Okay, so that would be the option. The right option would be option number 4 for 73rd question. Now coming to 74th question. The dash theory of language learning emphasizes imitation, practice, and reinforcement as a key to acquiring language. This is obviously behaviorist theory. Okay, it is about imitation, practice, and reinforcement. Okay, so 74 would be option 2. Now, which pedagogical theory supports the idea that learners have emotional needs and learns best in supportive environments? This again is option 2, which is humanism. Okay, now, so option 2 is the correct answer of the question number 75. The type of error that occurs when a learner applies the grammatic rules of their native language to a second language is option number 1, interlingual error. Okay, interlingual error. So option 1 would be the correct answer. Now coming to 77th question. Identify the correct chronological order of events in their impact on English language and development. So the option number, it is option number 2. That is the correct answer. So Norman conquest, it happened in 1066. Now printing press, after 1450s, great vowel shift from 17th to 18th century, and then the rise of British Empire. Okay, sorry, it is to 14th to 15th century. Okay, so the correct option would be great vowel shift. Sorry, that would be option number 2. Now, what is the primary goal of critical pedagogy in ELT? Now, this would be, the answer would be option number 4, to encourage learners to question social norms and engage in transformative learning. That is the primary goal of critical pedagogy in ELT. Now coming to 79th question. Here again, this is a match the following. The answer of this question is option 1, option number 1. Okay, so receptive skill is associated with listening to a podcast in English. Then productive skill would be writing an essay on environmental issue. Integrated skill would be reading an article and then discussing it with peers. And speaking skills will be with participating in a classroom debate. Okay, so the answer to 79th question is option number 1. Now, which of the following linguistic concepts refer to the study of language in its social context? The clue is in the question itself. It is socio-linguistics. Okay. Now, so 80 question number 80 has the answer socio-linguistic. Okay. Now, coming to the 81st question, what distinguishes English as a second language territories from English as first language territories? It is option number 4. ESL territories often have English as a formal or educational language as well as every language. Okay. Now, so the option number 4 would be the correct answer for the question number 81. Now, coming to 82, in applying Foucault's concept of episteme to literary text, new historicism aims to undo what aspect of cultural history? Okay, so the inherent aesthetic value of different epochs, it is not that answer. Dominant configuration of knowledge and power, certainly that should be an answer. Now, the evolution of linguistic structures, no, that is not considered. Now, the popularity of certain literatures over genres of time. So here, option only B would be the answer. So B is the correct answer for question 82. Which factor primarily contributed to the emergence of cultural studies as a proto-discipline in the 1960s? A renewed interest in classical literature art? No. The rise of mass culture and the expansion of mass media? Obviously, it should be. Efforts to preserve indigenous cultural traditions? No. The establishment of elitist cultural institutions? The answer would be only B. 83 is 3. Who founded Centre for Contemporary Culture Studies in London? The answer would be Richard Hogarth. Stuart Hall was the next director. Okay, Richard Hogarth was the first director of CCCS, Centre for Contemporary Cultural Studies. What was the key contribution of Centre, 85th question? What was the key contribution of Centre for Contemporary Culture Studies at the University of Birmingham? Okay, now, no, the options are very clear. Now, the answer would be option 3. Okay, 85th question will have the answer option 3, which is pioneering the study of popular culture through lens of class, race, and gender. Class, race, and gender. Okay, so option 3 is the answer of question number 85. Now, match the following between the authors and their books. Okay, now let's see the ones that we know. Raymond Williams, you should know that he wrote the work Long Revolution. So 2 is C. 2 is C. See, you have just one option here. It's 2C. Okay. Now, Edward Zoya, he wrote Postmodern Geographies. Okay. So 3 is A. E.P. Thompson, he wrote the work Zero Option. Now, Richard Hogarth is associated with teaching literature. So 86, the answer is option number 1. Okay. Now, according to Raymond Williams, what is the relationship between culture and society? Here, the answer is obviously option number 4. Culture is both a reflection and a shaping force within society. Okay. So all these are negative in their statement. Culture is a product of economic conditions. Culture is separate from societal influence. Culture is a product of economic conditions. You could have got confused with that option. But the other two options, culture is separate from societal influence, culture has no impact on social norms, they're completely wrong. So you could have eliminated and then considered. Okay. Which concept is central to the analysis of media in cultural studies? Okay, now this is obviously representation. Okay, it is representation. Option 2 is the answer. Now, coming to the next question, read the following poem and choose the correct answer. I'm pretty sure you've all read this. We'll see the answers. Okay, what sorry, before that, the aspect of an immigrant life expressed in the poem is or are. This is all of the above aspects. Okay. What does the term hegemony refer to in cultural studies? Okay. It is obviously the dominance of one social group over the other. Now, coming to which of the following sequences is chronologically correct? Now, the function of criticism at the present time, this was published in 1865. Now, practical criticism was published in 1929. Culture and Society was published in 1958, and The Anxiety of Influence was published in 1973. So for question number 91, the right answer is option 2. Okay, option 2. Now coming to another match the following. Now formalism, as you know, is about close reading, textual unity, and literary devices. So A should be 3. You have two options with A 3. Now coming to deconstruction. Deconstruction is about impossibility of meaning and binary opposition. Remember me teaching you that Derrida was against the concept of binary opposition, right? So, uh, so deconstruction is against binary opposition. So impossibility of meaning and binary opposition. So that makes A3, B4, which is option number 1. Okay, then C1, new historicism is about analyzing a text in its cultural context. So, cultural context, power structure, historicity of text. Now, reader response theory, from the very title, you can understand interpretation by the reader, reader's role, effective meaning. All these are central to reader response theory. So, 92nd question, the right answer is option 1, option number 1. Okay, now, which of the following best captures Matthew Arnold's stance on determining the best in poetry? Great poetry is identified through comparison with masterworks of recognized poetic excellence. That is the answer of question number 93. Remember the touchstone method? So he believed in comparing our works with the master works that has already been acknowledged. So option number 2 is the correct answer. Now, which category of criticism focuses primarily on uncovering an author's motives or intentions and is associated with romanticism? The answer is expressive criticism. The option number 2 is the answer for question number 94. Okay, now coming to 95th question. What specific philosophical aesthetic distinction made by Edmund Burke does Mary Wollstonecraft challenge in her feminist argument? Now the answer is sublime versus beautiful. Okay, the answer is option number 3. Okay, she says that these are gendered concepts of Burke. Okay, now so 95 is 3. Now again you have a comprehension. So here, which figure of speech is most clearly conveyed in the line, life is but a walking shadow? This is a metaphor. Okay, it is a metaphor. It is not irony. It is not antithesis. It is not foreshadowing. It is metaphor. The phrase out brief candle symbolizes here. You can understand from the very word brief what the phrase means. The fragility and brevity of life. Okay, that is the answer. 97. 2. Which emotion is strongly conveyed through the poem it is despair. You don't see a happy or a hopeful note in this very excerpt, right? So it is about despair. Now, overall theme reflected in the extract is, it is option number 4, meaninglessness of life. Okay, meaningless. That is why he says, no, life is but a walking shadow, a poor player, struts and frets as are upon the stage, then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. You could have guessed from the last phrase that came in the excerpt. Which dramatic technique is used in this extract? It is soliloquy. It is not monologue. Monologue is something when a speaker talks with people around. That is monologue. Soliloquy is when the speaker is alone in the stage and he's talking to himself. So it is soliloquy. So here, Macbeth, this is taken from Macbeth, and it is Macbeth who is giving this soliloquy. So with that, we wind up the question paper analysis. So I hope no, it helped you. I hope you did well in your exam. So was the session helpful, and was the answers, are you fine with the answers? How was your exam? How did you do? Ankita ma'am, I've finished.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll wind up.
Yeah, we can wind up. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So have a great day.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And I will see you all again exactly at 9 p.m. at our Vallath YouTube channel. All right. And I know all of you will pass with flying colors. All the very best for your result in advance. Thank you so much for joining. All the very best again. Great. Okay. And see you all again soon. Thank you so much. Bye. Take care. Good night. I'm ending the session.